And good afternoon, and welcome to another riveting edition of Speaking Life with Dr. Sabrina. I am your host, Dr. Sabrina Jackson, and I am so excited to be here with you. We're here every Monday at noon, and we talk about speaking life because, you know, I really believe.
How do we win if I'm always...
and death lie in the power of your own tongue. What are you saying to yourself about yourself? What are you saying about your situation, about your relationships, about your job, about your business, about your wishes and your dreams and your aspirations? What are you saying? So we have an opportunity every week to interview incredible people. I must say I am so fortunate because I know incredible people. I really do. I know incredible people. And so, before we get started, I kind of talk about what's going on, what's coming up. And so today was the first day of my new segment on Fox 2. I am so freaking excited. Oh my God. So what we do now is that Mental Health Mondays is still going to be every Monday, but instead of it being 10:30 a.m., it's 9:30 a.m. So at 9:30 a.m., we will do our regular Mental Health Mondays segment. Oh, but then at the 10:30 mark, I am in the studio live answering your live questions. So you can ask questions, but you have to ask them on Twitter. If you go to Twitter and you put in hashtag Ask Dr. Sabrina, those will populate, and then on that little board they'll pick a question, ask the question, and I'll answer the question. So today was the first day that we did that. I am so excited. I'm so thankful for the people that did. They know how to navigate this whole Twitter thing, but it's so exciting. And so now we'll have two segments: the regular Mental Health Mondays at 9:30, and then at 10:30 a.m. hashtag Ask Dr. Sabrina. Oh my God, I'm so excited! And then also, every Monday at 2 p.m., we have Mental Wellness Mondays over at the Disabilities Network. It is at 7800 West Arter Drive. It's in the lower level in Suite 55. And so we're there every Monday from 2 to 3. And we just talk about things to make sure that you're mentally well. Last week, we talked about forgiveness. Ooh, it was good because not only did we do our hour, we had an after the show, and people was asking more questions. We went a little deeper, so that was so much fun. And so this week we're going to talk about depression, what depression is and what it's not, how to know if you are at mild depression, if you're at acute depression, if you have something called dysthymia. So we're going to dig deep, and everyone that comes, you're going to take an assessment. You know, I love a test, so we're going to take an assessment to find out if you are having challenges with your depression. And so then also this week, yours truly is getting an award. I'm getting an award, so I got to look cute. I'm getting an award at the Career Master Summit. And Career Master has been around for 10 years. This year marks their 10-year anniversary. And can I say that your girl has been a part every year for 10 years. And I am so honored that, this is my sister, Dr. Lisa Wicker, who put this amazing conference on, and it grows bigger and bigger every year. And she has them all over the country. Every year is someplace different. But this year, she's bringing it back to Detroit. She started in Detroit, and she's bringing the 10th year back to Detroit. So I'm super excited about that. And then I'm also nominated for this year's Detroit Choice Award. Detroit Choice Award has a list where you can go and vote for your favorites. And I'm under the category of favorite motivational speaker. What's so crazy is almost every person on this list are my friends. So it's not a competition. It's really not. We love each other. So whoever wins, we're going to be excited about it. I will say the first year that they had the award, I won. So I have one at home already. I have one. Amen. 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 So, but every year I've been nominated, and so I feel very honored about that. But you can go to DetroitChoiceAward.com and vote for my category as well as the other categories that are there. And then I am a regular contributing author to Beautiful Machine magazine, and we come out every single month, and it's a online version magazine. But this month, they have a list of the most influential people in Detroit, and yours truly made the list. Oh my God, and it's so pretty. The cover is so pretty of me. And so I am considered one of the most influential figures in Detroit. And so it says that I'm a therapist, I'm a media personality, and I'm the people expert. So hey, shout out to my family over at Beautiful Machine magazine. And I'm in some good company. Dan Gilbert's on the list. The mayor is on the list. Mary Sheffield is on the list. Big Sean is on the list. Oh my goodness. Jalen Rose is on the list. I am Zeke. You know, Zeke from New Era has been here with us. That's my brother, my little brother. He made the list. It's an incredible list. So please go to beautifulmachinemagazine.com. I think it's .com, and then you can look at the list, and you can see my column for this month. I do a column called Dr. Sabrina Says, and people write in their questions. And this month's question has to do with the pastor, who's also a businessman, and one of his pastor friends asked him for a business quote. He gave him the quote, and when he gave him the quote, he already gave him a discount. But then the pastor friend writes back and say, can I get a little more of a discount? And so he asked, he said, well, how much of a discount? And it was half of what he offered. So the first offering was a discount, and the guy is asking for half of that. And so the question is, should he give it to him? And so my guest has already said no. And so you can go there, you can read. Oh my God, I forgot about this. Okay, that's so funny. So much stuff is going on. But on May the 26th is a Sunday afternoon, the 100 Men in Suits. This event happens every year on the Avenue of Fashion, which is on Livernois at Times Square. And so Pastor himself, Al Bartel, puts on this event every year, and they have all these men suited and booted. Oh, they so sharp. And they have people who vote. They have little the little, fan things that you can vote. It's amazing. So I love it. But this year, they're honoring me with a community service award. Oh my God. I get to get an award and see all the fine men. Yes! Yes! Life is good. So that's on May 26th. I think it starts at 3. Charlie Langton, my Fox 2 brother. And I say this about Charlie Langton. Charlie Langton is the reason that I'm on Fox 2. Because he met me at a breakfast for attorneys. I was the keynote speaker. And when I finished, he walked up to me and told me that I was amazing, and that he was going to get me on Let It Rip. That was in 2014. I have done something on Fox 2 ever since then. Yay! Okay, so I tell you all the time that I know incredible people. I know incredible people. I know, and I'm blessed to know incredible people. So I just kind of call my friends, the people that I'm close to, and just have them come on and speak life. About their life and about what things we can do to have a better life. And today is no different. Today I'm super excited because I have my big brother in the building. He's my big brother. When I call him, he says, hey, baby sis. I am the little sister. But I have Suten Aten. Did I say it right?
Yes.
He said, why you laugh?
Because you didn't want to say it.
I didn't want to say it, but I have to say it. He is a multi-talented individual. He's known for his diverse pursuits as a musician. Yes, he can play. He can play the keyboard. How many instruments do you play?
Keyboards and drums, but basically keyboards. I started
Okay.
off with the drums.
He started with the drums, and he can sing. Did you put singer? You ain't put
No.
singer on here. Why?
Because I'm critical of myself.
Okay, so then you need to stop being that and just walk in and stand in the things that God has gifted you with.
Yes.
All right. And then he's also a metaphysician. We're going to get a good definition of that. He's a lecturer. He's a counselor. Can I say you're an astrologer?
Of course.
He's an astrologer. So, he does charts. And I know for y'all Christians out there, I know y'all tripping already. I know y'all tripping. Let me calm down. It's okay. God did create the stars. There's some messaging in the stars. Okay. But anyway, we can go all day with his vast resume of the things that he does. But he says something all the time for those
Who can hear?
Who can hear. Ooh, that's so good. Okay, so anyway, let me welcome. I call him Satin. That's when I met him. He was Satin. Well, he got several names, but Satin is what I call him. But I am going to respect and honor Suten Aten.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. I
So-
appreciate it. I'm honored.
Really?
Yes.
We're just gonna kick the game.
Yes. Well, we can do that.
We can do that.
We can do that.
We go on and on and on. So you do Reiki?
Reflexology.
Reflexology. Okay, so
You know that.
what I know, because he do reflexology with me. And let me tell you the favorite thing. He knows my favorite thing about the reflexology. So he does stuff on my feet, and the pressure points on my feet stop. See, my assistant's in the building, Miss Patrice Love, and she's over here going, woo! Okay. But he does my feet, and then he puts a warm blanket over me. It's so good.
I like that.
It is so good. Oh,
That feels amazing.
it is. I love it. And I love it so much that I do it at home myself. Just now, I just do it. That's something that, sometimes when you discover things that you like, that you do some other places, sometimes you got to learn just to do it for yourself.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do reflexology on yourself.
I don't want to do that part.
Oh, okay.
I just want to do the warm blanket.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to do the.
Well, that's what Mama does. My mother, I remember my mother doing certain things. She had such a profound influence on me. And she was, from Georgia, so-called country girl. She was one of the pioneers in coming here from Georgia. And she was unconventional, individual, tall, 5'11", extremely attractive woman. She came here and she got her a job working for a famous dentist in Detroit named Fred Cutthroat.
Okay.
People that's young, they don't know. But
Yeah,
it was
I don't
on
know.
Mac.
I'm young.
It was
I don't
on
know.
Mac.
Okay.
And it just so happened, gave me an opportunity because the doctor was doing all of Motown's teeth.
Oh.
And so through my mom, I met Tammy Terrell, I met the Temptations. I never met Stevie, but I met a lot of artists that perform and who work with Motown. So because of that, again, because of her influence and her being so strong and so strict, she taught me so many things that enabled me to have finesse as a man. Still be a man.
Still
but
be
have
a
finesse.
man, but have finesse.
Brush your teeth.
Okay, break that down. Break down what is finesse.
Finesse is the way that you present yourself to other, and you look at yourself as a piece of art. So when you approach someone, I remember I was at this sorority group, and I was kind of apprehensive about approaching the lady because she was so busy. And I asked her, I came up to her and I said, Ma'am, can I have a gentle conversation with you?
A gentle conversation. Could somebody have a gentle conversation with me? I'm just saying, okay.
So, that kind of broke the ice.
Okay.
Because I could tell she was busy. I kind of could tell she had went through a lot. I kind of could tell that she really actually kind of didn't want to be bothered or even talked to at a certain time. So that's what I said. I said, can we have a gentle conversation? And she kind of looked at me like, she ain't never heard.
She ain't never heard. And I think that's a part of finesse, is that when you have finesse, the things that you do sounds like something that you've never heard.
Well, for men, they have to learn not only to be aggressive and masculine and all the different things that's supposed to make you a man, you also have to express your feminine side. It doesn't mean you're gay. It has nothing to do with being gay. Is knowing, and you're going to learn that from a woman. A woman's going to show you. My wife showed me how I need to, as a man, in my appearance and who I am, how to conduct myself. Because sometimes you can give mixed messages, and she knows how women take things in a particular type of way.
Say it again. Oh my God, that right there. We could just stay right there. So let me say this. I love the way you say it, that when you present yourself like a piece of art.
Yes.
I've never even heard that. I love that, because I think that I think I do that.
Yes.
I think
you do
I
it
do.
Unconsciously,
I do it unconsciously, but I really even the glasses that I selected.
Yes.
My glasses have gotten so much feedback because people go, "Oh my God, they look so good on you," but I just kind of like them.
Well, as human beings, how you take care of yourself, that's part of your communication to people. What you eat, that's part of the comedy, because you're going to give off an aura. How you smell.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. The one thing I'm going to tell you about Susan Otten.
She wanted to say sad.
I did, but I didn't. What I will say is that we used to every week be at Baker's. Every week we would be at Baker's.
You and Coco.
Me and Coco. And you too. We would all be there.
Right.
We just all be there.
Yeah.
So we would be there. And whenever he entered the room, the energy would shift, because he didn't just walk. It was like he was gliding in the room. Like, how tall are you?
6'5".
So he's 6'5". And then he comes in, and then he has very distinct jewelry on, and then he always smells like a pool of shea butter. And you just feel like you want to bathe in the pool.
Just dive in.
Oh, just dive into the pool. So there were women that will remain nameless, who, when they would see him, would just get all, flustered, and they would come over, "Oh, hey, baby," and kiss him on his, kiss him on the top of his head, and because he's bald, and so, and he.
But I didn't invite none of that.
No, you didn't. But that was what your wife was saying about how you could send a mixed message, because you kind of, you just have this.
Well, I wasn't flirting, though. I wasn't flirting.
Okay. Smelling like a pool of shea butter. And then when you just walk in and be like, hey, baby girl.
That's being clean.
Hey, baby girl.
That's the art.
Hey, baby girl.
That's the finesse.
Hey, baby girl. As soon as you say, hey, baby girl, for some women, they go, ooh.
Well, trust me, I got schooled about it.
I know you did. That's why I love. Hey, wifey, love your wife. Oh my God.
I got schooled. You believe that?
You can believe that.
And another thing.
Oh my God.
No,
so it's just been years of watching you and being fortunate enough to call you my brother, and
yes.
to feel like I can talk to you about anything, and I do.
Yeah.
I could, everybody needs a safe space.
Yes.
And people ask me all the time, because I am other people's safe spaces, that who's my safe space? Who do you talk to when you tripping? Because I do be tripping. Trust and believe, I do be tripping. But definitely, Susan Otten. I keep saying it right too. I'm so proud of myself. Is that for me?
Yes.
So what made you go down the lane of metaphysics?
Because something happened to me in Orthodox religion, Orthodox church, that made me see that human beings, whether they are pastor, bishop, choir director, or whatever you want to call it, they're human beings.
First.
And there's a term called idiotis, that's a Greek term, that says that if you subject yourself to any type of belief system, to any religion, to any authority beyond yourself, and they do things and say things, and you see that something within your soul tells you this don't feel right,
Come on.
and you don't question them about it, then you're an idiot.
Ooh.
Never take in what anybody else says.
Oh my God. My
without
daddy.
question.
My
I
daddy.
invite questions.
I
don't
invite
get mad
him
at
too.
you.
Me either.
So if somebody gets mad at you, when you question them about religion, about their authority, about anything, then it's something going on. They let you know. So I learned how to deal with. I was approached by a preacher from a homosexual standpoint.
Okay.
I don't have nothing against people who engage and whoever they sleep with, that's their business. But for him to be a preacher and be under the umbrella of Christianity and doing all this preaching and then approach me, a young man that was 12 years old.
Wow.
Okay. From that point of view, it doesn't make all preachers bad, doesn't make all pastors bad, doesn't make all authorities bad. I'm not saying that. But it made me see that they're human.
First.
Just like we are. And so what that did is that made me go outside the structure of Orthodox religion. And the reason why I embrace astrology, because when you talk about things of a metaphysical standpoint, that's what astrology is, because it existed way before religion.
Long before.
Way before religion. And what it is a conglomeration of all the things that we as human beings experienced on Earth, which started in Africa. We began to get synchronized with what we call the moon. We began to get synchronized with what we call the sun. We began to realize and name certain things. When it was what you call dark, we eventually named it night. When it was day, we know that was light. So all these different cycles that exist causes us to synchronize with the planets, synchronize with the stars. And so what we call astrology was a part of African spirituality, which existed for at least 30,000 years before religion. So you're asking me not to embrace, you're asking me not to connect with this knowledge and study this knowledge from within and forsake that knowledge that was, at least it's more than 30,000 years, but I'll just say 30,000 years, to a belief system that's only 2,000 years old. So when you question that, of course, you're going to have people that disagree, and it's fine. It's fine if they disagree,
And let me say this. Because you have this study, and because you have this knowledge, does it mean that you don't have some embrace of Orthodox religion?
No question. I was raised in it. I'm a keyboard player. At a church.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday. So no, but there's things that's questionable. We've been dumbed down to think a certain kind of way, and we've been conditioned to think a certain type of way. And being dumbed down, we've been given what you call structured knowledge. Structured knowledge is what the affluent, because when you talk about learning, you talk about the world, there are powers that control what you read, control what you see, control what you eat, control how you even look at yourself. When I do my consultations, I always connect with my clients and let them know that you realize who you were before the world told you who you should be.
Ooh, say that again. Do you realize who you were before the world told you who you should be?
Before you had a face.
Yes.
You know, because we get these layers. You know, we come through the wombs of our mothers, which is the female is so powerful. Which another reason why I had issues with Orthodox teaching, because they never married. That all the apostles, they never mentioned from being apostle Mary. Mary was an apostle too. She was there. Mary had a book.
Yep.
The Book of Mary.
Yep, it's the Book of Mary. Yep.
But you have what you call the Council of Nicaea, that decided what was going to be in the scriptures, the New Testament. What was going to decide what's going to be in the those letters in there. And then you have the King James Version. Do you know what version means? That means that wasn't the original.
That's not the original.
That's not the original. And you're going to trust, you talk about Orthodox belief system. You talk about Orthodox belief system, how you should this and that, and then they talk about people who live a certain lifestyle. Did you not know that King James was an off-the-chain, gay, horrific molester? Did you know that?
King James.
So I'm supposed to.
And we're reading that version of the Bible.
And we're reading the version that he commissioned.
Now, that doesn't mean that there's not good things
in there. Right.
But it's been altered.
This is the thing that I say all the time, and I really appreciate this discussion, because my father, just like you talk about your mother and the influence that your mother had on you, my father had such a profound influence on me. And my father used to say to me, ask questions.
Yes.
Don't take anything at face value. Yes. He says, I don't care who's saying it, even if it's me.
Exactly.
He would say, even if it's me, ask me. Where did I get it from? Where did it come from? And and he drove that into me. So that's probably why I'm such a ferocious learner and reader, because I like. And so I always say this: I don't have deep discussions with many people. Yes. And that's because I know most people don't go deep, and they surface. Yes. So I'm not going to have a discussion with you because it's really not fair to you.
It drains your energy too.
It's not fair to you because I'm talking about places I've been.
Right. Yeah. That's another method of learning, traveling,
right. Yes.
going to Africa, going to England, going to different parts of Europe.
Yes.
You know, been to the West Side.
And
that's
they ain't been to Southfield. They ain't been to Birmingham.
So, because you see artifacts, and you see, when I went to Egypt, when and the Sphinx, and you see artifacts, and you see things. It's when I went to Egypt and experienced the pyramids and the Sphinx, it was like out of space, from a place from another realm.
It has to be.
Did you feel it like calling or drawing you?
Yes, and it was scary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you could say all what you want about the pyramids. You could say all you want about the Sphinx. I experienced it
firsthand,
and it existed way before Christianity.
Mm-hmm. Do we know who created them?
Who created what?
The Sphinx.
Well, I can't tell you for sure. All I can say is that there was and has been and has to be. To me, it's not intelligent for us to think that we're the only life forms.
Ooh, say it again.
That exists.
Say it again.
In this vast universe. It just don't make no sense to me. Mm-hmm. So I say that to say that I do believe that we have been intersected or interbreeded with other life forms from other planets.
So I'm going to say right now, let me do a disclaimer. Because I know y'all getting ready to trip. Because he just said other life forms. And y'all gone. Y'all go, what is he saying? Is he saying that there's aliens?
Yes.
Well, let me say this. It is a very arrogant thing to think that the only living human type or whatever is just on this planet. And we serve a God who's a limitless God. You think the only people that he wanted to create was on earth? That's a very it's just not a good way to be looking. And so it's important to broaden your scope of what your understanding is. And if you stay stuck in what somebody else says and you don't do your own investigation, the word itself says to study to show thyself, not for somebody else. You study for you. And so one of the things my spiritual mother told me when I started ministering, she said you should have a different version of the Bible for every year you're on the planet.
Wow.
So when I first started with her, she gave me, at that time, 12 different versions of the Bible. She gave them to me.
12 different versions.
12 different versions when she first started working with me. And so then she says, nice, because I was in my 40s at the time. And she says, so now it's your responsibility to go find some more, because you need one for every year you're on the planet.
But see, also the thing is, a lot of people, even in the standard, a lot of people miss that Nephilim,
Yeah,
the giants.
I was just about to say that.
It was a result of so-called the falling angels
Yep.
interbreeding
With
with human beings, the children or daughters of men.
Yeah. I was just about to say
So, what y'all think about that?
Ain't that in the scriptures?
that. The Bible.
Ain't that Bible? That's Bible.
So I want to say something about aliens. Well, it's in the Bible. Like God is specifically saying the Nephilim.
Yes.
Just like
Yes.
it's there.
It's like I believe that
skip
people take things out the Bible that they're comfortable with, and then they just stick right there because they're comfortable. So they'll preach the same sermon. You hear the same sermons. Oh, and I have favorite scriptures too. But as I walked in the studio to Fox 2 today, as I was walking in the studio, I said, because it's a scripture, may my tongue be the pen of a ready writer. And the ready writer is the Holy Spirit. So I'm always giving the Holy Spirit access to use me as the vessel.
And see, some things cannot be taught. Some things cannot be told. Some things you can't get out of a book. You get it through the DNA in your connection with God, and you will have a dream and show you what happened back in that time. Revelation.
Yes.
And you will see it, and you will dream it. You can't tell nobody.
Can't tell nobody because then they think you're crazy.
But some things are beyond thought.
Okay, so my greatest example of this, so people ask me, so I'm gonna ask you this question. So if you could interview and talk to anybody from history, who would it be?
From history?
Yes, somebody that's gone on that you didn't know, but who you would like that you would just like to sit and kick it with. Who would you like to sit and kick it with?
John Hendrick Clark.
Okay, why John Henrik Clark, and who was it? Who was that?
He was a very prominent, in-depth, deep black historian.
Okay.
That went way back in studying Africa.
Wow.
And studying what we call religion. And he was saying that religion became a source of control.
Yes. Okay, so you know who I would want to interview?
Who?
Harriet Tubman.
Okay.
And you know why? Not just because she freed people. That was of course massive, but that she would be on the path and not know what to do and fall into a trance. And when she wake up, she know exactly what to do.
That's African.
Oh my God, that is so good.
That's African concept.
I
To go
love
within.
that. I love that. She would fall in, and the people around her knew, leave her alone. Because, sometimes we be wanting to, come on, wake up, baby. Leave her alone. She's someplace else.
Well, my grandmother was like that.
My mother was too.
She didn't
I like that. I do
it's
that.
four. I'm gonna say this real quick. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
There's four approaches and four methods
Like I need to be taking notes.
of information. One is, and what Gemini represents, to gather information. That's what we do immediately. We gather information. Like if someone was to listen to this, you listen. You gather information, and then another aspect of it is that once you get to information, you see how this information works. What's the mechanics behind it? Then the third.
Wait a minute.
This is good.
Is this so good? Oh my God. I'm taking notes. This is my show, and I'm taking notes. Okay.
And then the third is what's the meaning of this information? Okay. So this is where my grandmother comes in. My grandma hadn't gathered no information. She didn't know how nothing.
She didn't know how it worked.
She didn't necessarily know the meaning of it.
She didn't know the meaning.
But the third phase is that through
The
prayer.
fourth. That's the fourth.
Fourth. I'm sorry. For the fourth, through prayer and meditation and staying connected with God, she knew all the things that other people had to study, had to figure out. It came to her through dreams, through intuition, and through revelation. Revelation.
Ooh.
And that's what all of us have.
Y'all, let me tell y'all something. This so good. This so good. Okay, so I just want. I'm gonna. You know how I do. I take something. My son always says that when I learn something, then I act like I taught it.
Well, you already know it. What I just got through saying, everybody in here already knows it. We have to know and connect with our higher self, which is God, so He can reveal.
Revelation. Revelation is getting revealed to stuff that's already in you. It really is. It's already in you. And then you have to tap into it. I was talking. Ooh, people gonna be mad. I don't know. People gonna be mad at me. Oh my God. I'm gonna be put out the church. Anyway, but I remember, and I tell this story. I don't tell it often, but I think I've told you before. I don't know. But you know, my mother's been gone since 2013. And in 2020, a girlfriend of mine who's a seer was having, she was, that year I had this thing called 2020 vision. As we moved into the year 2020, I had this revelation to do this thing to help people with their vision for the new year and to have 2020 vision for the new year. And so I said, for $20, you could get 20 minutes and we could talk about your vision. And I had a little form that I created, blah, blah, blah. So I was talking to my girlfriend, who's the seer. And we're talking about her vision. And then she just looked up and she went, oh, your mother's here. And I went, oh, okay. And she said to stop being so mean to men. And I said, stop laughing. And I said, well, if I'm mean to men, it's because of her. And she said, well, the difference is I had a husband. You looking for one. And I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, I was like, oh, that's my mama. Yeah. That's my mama. So then I said, well, can I ask her some questions? And she said, okay, yeah, what you want to know? And the first thing I said was, do you see my daddy? Because, you know, my father passed in 2009. And I said, do you see my daddy? And she went, you always asking about your damn daddy. That's all you concerned about is your damn daddy. And I went, uh-oh. She said, yeah, I see him. I said, well, are you with him now? We're not talking about your daddy. And I went, oh, okay. And then I said, well, do you see my brother? Because my brother's deceased. And she said, I've seen him. And then I said, well, what you be doing? And she said, trying to help your ass, but you don't pay attention. Trying to help your ass, but you're not paying attention. And then I went, uh-oh. And then I said, then I was quiet. And then she was quiet. And then she was quiet. And then she said, I'm sorry. That's all she said. I'm sorry, I didn't know any better. So when she said that, I knew exactly what she was talking about. And I was, when I tell you I was a mess afterwards. And so when we finished, and then I went I was in a place where they had, at the top of some steps, some heat came out, and I sat up at the top of the steps and I bawled like a baby. But it was so comforting for me. It just left me with a level of peace in a particular area of my life that I really could never really find peace. And I know that that's what I needed when I needed it.
What happens to us is that because we look at death a particular type of way, you never die. It's just the form that your spirit and soul is in leaves deceased in what you call dies. But we never die. And so we have different dimensions of reality that our ancestors live in those dimensions. Okay? They're not dead. They live in those dimensions. And a lot of times, if you're able to break the change of being conditioned and thinking that communicating with your ancestors is voodoo, or connecting with your ancestors is black magic or witchcraft. All these different names have been given to us because the powers that be don't want us to be able to communicate on that kind of level, because if you're able to communicate on that type of level, all the lies, all the deceptions, all the conditioning, we won't be subjected to that because our ancestors would tell us and let us know. My mother comes to me. It's one time I was going through a real heavy time, a dark, I call it the dark night of the soul. And I just started crying. And my mother came to me in her own fashion. She said, "Baby, go ahead and cry. After you get through crying, get up off of your behind and do what you gotta do." That was my mama. It was just like her. So I say all that to say is that we as human beings, we must go beyond how we've been conditioned. The affirmation that I give, and I'm gonna be quiet. The affirmation.
You the guess. What you mean? You gonna be quiet? You here to talk? Talk.
Okay. The affirmation that I give my clients and people who I love. Affirmations are a source and a means and the tools by which we speak to our souls. What you say, how you say it, and what you know, not what you believe. See, believe, when people ask me, do I believe in God? I say, no, I don't believe in God. I know God. It's a God. So our very language causes us to have issues and have problems of busting through how we've been conditioned. So I give my client these affirmations. Help me to see what can't be seen. Help me to hear what can't be heard. Help me to touch. Help me to feel without touching. That's 3. Okay. Help me to taste what has no flavor. Okay. Help me to smell that has no fragrance. Now what that does is it tunes you into your inner senses so that you have insight. So that your hearing doesn't come just from the outside. It comes from
I say it every day.
The inside.
I say it every single day.
Smelling from a metaphysical standpoint has a lot to do with the environment that you're in. And it can, we say that some things just stink. Yeah. It may not necessarily stink on the outside, but the situation, the person stinks. Okay? Not because of outside. You got what I'm saying? And some people, you can meet them and you can see them and you can feel them. You ain't got to touch them. You understand what I'm saying? And some things, even when it comes to taste, you'll say that person has bad taste. So all those 5 senses, we have to be able to go beyond those 5 senses because it keeps us in a cage.
Ooh, that's good.
And our sense of reality is based on what we see through the 5 senses. And it's like looking at life in reality through a keyhole, through your 5 senses. It's like looking at life. And so what you want with those 5 affirmations and God connecting with you, then you're able wow, oh my God, some people ain't ready for it. I don't give the affirmation to everybody. Some people ain't ready for it.
Because it'll overwhelm you.
And see, what happens is that you find out that the ego, which is part of your five senses, when we look at the letter, the spirit looks at the word. When we look at the word, the spirit looks at the sentence. When we look at the sentence, the spirit looks at the paragraph. When we look at the paragraph, God looks at the chapter.
Come on. Come on, y'all.
Help me to see what can't be seen. So yes, that's...
It's so funny because I feel like you say things so deep. I feel like he says things so deep.
My brain is just like ripping. Cartwheels.
I say things like, you don't require outside validation to what God has put inside of you. And when you seek outside validation, you quiet the internal.
Sabrina told me something, y'all. Satin suit, knot, whatever you call yourself, why don't you go and speak? I said, well, you know, I ain't like you, Sabrina. I don't have no degree and all that kind of stuff. I study like... She said, you don't need the validation.
You don't.
Of somebody on the outside.
You don't.
God has given you a gift.
Come on. That's what I said.
And to myself, I broke down crying. I mean, we all have our gift, we all have our purpose, and I've always been like that. Ever since I was 5 years old, I used to look at people and watch people and see like how crazy people act. I was an old kid.
Yep, me too.
You know, so you was an old kid.
Oh, heck yeah.
You know, we were old souls.
Yep, we're old souls.
Old souls come back together.
Yep.
You know, we've known each other in other lives. So that just made me go to another realm, and that's why I do what I do. That's why I'm on this planet. You know, that's my purpose, and I love solitude.
That's green. He took my essential colors test, and he's green first, gold second. So he's very serious. A green-gold combination are serious people. You're just serious.
Solitude is all the noise I need.
Yeah, he be by himself. And so it's so funny because he has a house where he does his business. You know, people come there for readings and things of that nature. And then when he's through with work, then he goes home to his family. He goes home to his wife.
Yeah.
That's a good day.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, when you walk into his place, it's so orderly. Everything has a place and it's in its place.
You just told me that. I don't even realize that. I didn't realize. I mean, you saying it now. I do.
Yes, it's very orderly.
Okay.
So even when I come and like if you have books on the table, you'll go, excuse the mess, baby girl. I'm like, hey, mess? It's just some books on the table. Well, I don't have things on the table.
You didn't say nothing about my plants.
Oh, yeah, he got tons of plants. He takes very good care of plants. But you know why I didn't say anything about plants?
Why?
Because they don't mean nothing to me.
Oh, okay.
The things that like stick, because for anybody, the things that make sense to them or that you know, that they connect with, or just it's like a red flag to them, or just screams something to them, is what they tap into.
Okay.
I'm not a plant person.
But you look at all that.
I know, but I don't be paying it no attention. I just go, oh, okay. That's like the only time I really pay attention. I don't pay. I really. Oh, it's nice.
That's your thing, which is fine.
Yeah. And this is the other thing is that it's so important to learn yourself.
Yeah.
And to understand yourself. And so if things make sense to you, really tap into why they make sense to you, why you like it, why it brings you joy. And if it doesn't bring you joy, stop doing it.
Okay. Yes.
And then the things that scare you, ooh, this is good, because this is for suit not. The things that may be make you a little, give you trepidation, that go like, oh, I'm sensitive, or I'm critical. Those are the things you absolutely need to do. Because it ain't for you. It's for someone else. Gotcha. So somebody else is sitting, waiting for a breakthrough, but they got to hear the song being sung by you.
Remember when you first found love, how it felt so good.
Yes. And so I say that because that's the very thing that I need. There's certain things that I do just effortlessly. But there's other things that I go, oh, I know I need to do, but I don't know.
I got you.
I don't want to do. I don't know what people. So I was tripping. Patrice will tell you today after I did my segment, because today is the new segment. So now I have 2 segments on Fox 2, not just one.
Yeah, I know you had one at 10:30.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now I have 2. One at 9:30.
Wow.
And the new one at 10:30. And the 10:30 is I'm on the couch by myself.
Oh, I know you love that. I know you love that. I'm happy for you.
I did love it, but then I was all nervous about it.
How'd I do? What'd I say? I did it. I'm like, you did great.
I said, how did it go? How did I do? How did it look? And then I was just tripping. And then I was like, well, ain't nobody called me and told me that it was good.
Self-validation.
Don't require outside validation.
Well, see, what happens and what kind of had happened to me, I'm much better at. When you unconsciously thrive on the acceptance or the validation or the response of people,
Yes.
you put yourself in a cage.
Y'all gonna have to watch this on the replay. You got to watch it on the replay.
Do you want to be free of what God tells you? Or you want to be subjected to other human beings who don't have a clue?
So let me tell you, this is so good. That's a whole sermon. But let me say this. I remember, and I tell this story all the time, when I first quit my job working with the county and I started my business, and my boss at the time took me out and said, so now what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to be a speaker. And she said, I don't know. Because have you seen any full-figured speakers? Mm-hmm. Because all that stuff about being full and fabulous and big and beautiful is a bunch of crap.
No, it's not.
And when I say I embraced that, I took it. And so I started doing things. I started doing Slim Fast, which was really Slim Slow. I started doing Jenny Craig, and I just watched the weight grow. I did all these things to lose weight, but people were still calling for me to come and speak around the world. And so finally the Holy Spirit whispered in my ear and says, are you going to pay attention to what they say? Or are you going to pay attention to what I'm manifesting in your world?
Yes.
So
yes.
Even though I do want to think that people like what I did, but I do have to accept the fact that God has manifested it in my world. That today, I started a new segment today.
Yes.
So celebrate it today.
And if you would have listened to your instructor or the authority, whoever she was, you remember we just got through saying that, you're an idiot if you pay attention to what other people say. You know, the final answer comes from God.
Final answer comes from God. Final answer comes from God. And so you have to quiet yourself so that you can pay attention to what God is saying. And He's always saying something. He's always saying something. He really is.
Beautiful, Sabrina. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, my God. How can people find you?
How can they find me?
If people want to find you.
My number is 313-942-6697.
97. You don't have a web page?
Yes, Sutanaten.com.
SUTENATEN.com. Sutanaten.com.
I've been doing this for 50 years.
He's been doing it for 50 years, and he's a master at it. He's a master. I sit and I listen. I do. I sit and I listen. And he tells me things that I'm like, I don't know. And he always say, well, chew up the meat and spit out the bones.
Eat the meat and spit out the bones.
Eat the meat. You got to eat the meat. I'm just chewing the meat. That's my problem. I'm just chewing the meat. You got to eat the meat and spit out the bones. Thank you so much
Thank you
for coming to hang out with me.
Invite me another time.
I absolutely will. We got to do a part 2 to this because we got to talk about means. We got to talk about the means, and we got to talk about how some humans are designed for monogamy, and some aren't.
Amen.
Okay, so thank you so much for being a guest.
Unorthodox.
Oh my God, I just cannot with that conversation. I'm not ready. She not ready. We will be back with you next Monday. And in the meantime, in this week, I want you to speak life to yourself, about yourself. Say something kind to yourself.
Yes.
Be positive to yourself. Speak life to your situation. If it's something that you look at and you don't like, stop focusing on all the stuff you don't like. If you want more of what you do like, say something you like and watch it come to pass. I'll see you next week. Take care. Hey to my breezies. You know I call you my breezies because we're cool like that. And I am so excited about the new segment that will premiere on Fox 2 this coming Monday. And this is the way it's going to go. On Monday at 9:30 a.m. during the 9, I will do my usual Mental Health Monday. But then at 10:30 a.m., we're going to start a segment entitled #Ask Dr. Sabrina. So you can go on live on Twitter and to the 9 and #Ask Dr. Sabrina. And we may answer your question live in the studio right there. I am so incredibly excited about this opportunity to engage directly with you. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your questions, and we're going to get them answered. So come on over to Fox 2 on this coming Monday, May the 13th, and every Monday afterwards for Mental Health Mondays with Dr. Sabrina, and then #Ask Dr. Sabrina. How do we win? How do we win if I'm always winning?
Right.
I know all I do is win.
No matter what.
No matter what. It's essential. I win when we win.
Go ahead, Dr. Sabrina.
Yeah, right from the beginning, she had a vision. It was a daily elevation for essential living. That's that good intention. All you gotta do is listen. Creating magic during uncertainties be the mission. Dr. Sabrina Jackson, serving God must be a passion. Cause being a better person begins with daily practice. Love is the attitude, that's what we gotta do. Mental Health Mondays on Fox News in Detroit, that's Channel 2. Look us up, baby. Gon' do your research from Castech to Eastern. Yeah, we've been in it for a minute. We've been winning.